What's going on, good people? I'm riding out, and just thought it was a good time to check in. Always good evening time, car ride, reflect, get the mind going. Just really think about life, think about the day, and I've just been thinking and. Man, it's like I think a lot of people need to know that, man, as long as we living, Satan is after us. And I think some people they seem to not even think about that or factor that in sometimes, and they kind of neglect their understanding by the way they live their lives. Like, you can't for 1 second while you living think that he doesn't have an agenda, he doesn't have a plan, because he uses deception to attack. Like, he understands that us as humans, we get in a position of consistency and we become comfortable, complacent, and he understands when we're in that comfortable position, that's when we are weaker. We're ineffective in our spiritual empowerment and in that spiritual battle, because when we're comfortable, think about it, you let your guard down, you feel like you're in a good position, and he understands that. Like, he knows his targets, he knows his agenda, he knows his plan, because when you really speak from like just a spiritual standpoint, like the word warns us about how Satan moves and how he prowls like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. I believe in 1 Peter it says that, right? He prowls around like a roaring lion, just seeking someone to devour. So, like, you just think about being in a jungle, and you think about a gazelle, and just think about how the lions chasing the gazelle, and preying on the gazelle, and like you think about that image. That's how Satan is moving in the earth. Like, from a spirit standpoint, that's how he's moving around us as the children of God. Like, he's just waiting for that moment to pounce on you. Right, you think about a gazelle wake up every morning trying to run and beat the chase, while the lion is chasing the gazelle. So we essentially are the gazelles in this analogy that I'm saying on a daily basis, right? Like, we're constantly he's trying to seek individuals that he can try and bring away from the kingdom. And as long as we live, no matter where we are, what position we're in, status, career-wise, relationship-wise, anything, like, you never in the clear. Like, it's a constant battle. It's a constant chase. It's a constant fight that we have to be aware of. And, like, finding Jesus is the only way to add protection against him. Like, finding Jesus is the only way to add that protection in the spiritual realm, because Satan and the devil and the demons, they're fighting in the spiritual realm. They're waiting to attack in moments where we feel like we're either at the top, or we feel like maybe we're going through a situation like God may have forsaken us. We seem like things ain't going as well at this moment, so we become depressed. When we become depressed, like he knows like how to try and overpower us with things in those moments, things that we feel like are of convenience. Like, you find the opportunity to try and get away from depression. You might go out and drink with your friends, or you might go and look for a good time to to drink the pain away, or some people resort to drugs. Unfortunately, he presents those things, he offers those things, and it brings us a certain amount of, I would say, happiness or relief from the situation at the moment. But it's not relief from the situation in its entirety. He understands how to use fornication, in isolation, really, to allow us and offer that to us, and arrogance and things like that to make us feel good in the moment, but that's furthering us away from God and who he wants us to be. And when you think about it, in all actuality, when we feeling like we're up and we're getting filled with those things, he's filling our bodies with things that are toxic, the things that weren't created by God. Because, God is telling us that we should be individuals that love, full of love, full of service, as well as full of faith and belief in who he is. So when you start filling your body with things that are toxic and of the demonic spirit, you're naturally shunning off God and creating giving yourself false hope, and you just think about those things, man. What you consume is what you become. You can't put unleaded gasoline in a jet and expect it to go fast and operate. It just won't work. Like, you can't consume, things that fill your insecurities, like those toxic things that the devil offers you in those moments: drugs, fornication, depression, isolation, those types of things, and expect to be an individual that is going to be blessed by God, because that's not what he calls us to do, right? It's like, when I get in these moments and I become isolated, the devil is making me feel like I'm in a good position and I'm cool being isolated. That's not what the call is about. The more isolated I become, the more away from the Father that I get. And I'm driving right now, so y'all might see me leaning up, but the more isolated I become, the further away from the call of being fruitful and multiply what God wants us to do, the further I get away from that. Because if I'm isolated, I feel like I'm fine by myself, so I don't need the family, I don't need the spouse, I don't need the love, I don't need the support, and I feel like I can do it on my own, so therefore I don't need God. And if that's the case, the devil is winning, because he doesn't want the home to be a place that we prioritize. He doesn't want family and being fruitful and multiplying to be something that we prioritize, because if he's able to influence the home with his spirit, he's able to damage and distance and create a dysfunctional atmosphere where there's no reproduction, there's no reproductivity between man and woman, there's no love there. So therefore we can't create, as the children of God, more children of God. So we're not able to instill those godly principles in the home, because there is no home. So you have to understand that as long as we're living, Satan is after us, because he's after the house, he's after the family, he's after us, he's after the church. He doesn't want those places where God is to exist. He wants to damage those places, so therefore we're not able to continue spreading the love, word, and purpose and principles of God. So as long as you're living, understand that every day you go out there, Satan is after you. Keep your guard up. Walk with faith, not by sight, man. Live with love. Spread the principles of God. And see y'all next time. Be safe out there. This Korrin, man. Love y'all. Peace.